Well, here it is. All the Power Rangers stuff I was trying to get. Got all three seasons of Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers, the Power Rangers first movie, Zeo, which is the other season, which is like I said, all these for the most part starred Jason David Frank, and then the revised cast after Austin St. John and those guys left. At some point, they switched to I think it's in the second season. Yeah, in the second season, they switched to some new characters, which are the same characters that continue on in this line. Um, but yeah, so yeah, because they like switched the whole cast I think in the middle or halfway through Turbo. Um, but yeah, so yeah, I have this complete. So I have this. I don't have Star Trek out there right now, but you guys have seen those. And then I got these other shows I watched. I still don't know where the hell Sonic is. It's somewhere in transit because it's not giving me data. Um, Other than waiting on Sonic, that's about it. And I did get some more apartment complex waiting list stuff for that other building in Easley that's also got open waiting list, or Easley/Pickens. So yeah, I gotta have somebody help me fill it out because I can't read the small print they use on these forms. So I already messaged, Sean, the guy texted me in the store, told him when I get back, I need a grocery store trip, I need help with this. So that'll at least be 2 waiting lists. I mean, and like I said, I'm also working with the authorities. I really think discrimination, I don't know, I think that should be kind of crap that gets people in jail, if you ask me. I think if you're a discriminatory, judgmental asshole, you should just go to jail for it. But, whatever, so yeah. So I got another waiting list form, just gotta fill it out for another building in the same area. Well, in the same city. I don't know if it's in the same side of town or whatever, but only other waiting list I can find. And like I said, at least I'm on 2 waiting lists. At least gives me an opportunity of something opening up. You know? So yeah, someone, and then, also have him maybe ship that second set of Turbo and Space Box movies to my cousin. But like I said, it's stupid that I have to pay $8 a DVD for a return slip for each and every one of them to send them back to Amazon. When I could just, I could probably pay like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know what it costs to have a label. It's probably just, I could probably just pay that one fee, or so, I don't know. I don't know how it works to ship them. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's cheaper to ship all of them in one box with one label than to my cousin, then it is to, pay $8 per label from Amazon, which is really stupid. What the hell, Amazon? I know you're greedy, Jeff, but that's just ridiculous. You charge people to return stuff. How much money do you need? Are you gonna buy a hair transplant or something? You bald-headed old fart. Or maybe you need it for all your wife's Botox. Because I've seen the girl you're married to. Yeah, she's probably high maintenance. She's probably a gold digger. She probably loves your money, not you. But then again, most women that are attractive that get involved with old men like you, they usually want your money. Hey, if you old men like that, if you want to be with a hot young girl and she just loves you for your money, then all I can say is if you're a smart man, you don't put her in your will. That's all I'm saying. If you're a rich old guy and some hot chick wants to be with you, she wants you for your money, so don't leave her any of it when you die. Teach women that acting like that's not profitable. I don't know, maybe then they'll quit doing it. Enough of you old guys say, I'm not going to leave the gold digging hot, bimbo anything. Hey, if you billionaires want to be that stupid to leave your, the only reason she's with you to her, then fine. But if the way Disney's, some of these companies that are being ran by women or any justification, they'll run your legacy out of business. I mean, look, they put a woman over General Motors, and the place is it's a dump. They let a woman pretty much run most of Star Wars and most of Disney, and look, it didn't make any money. Same thing with everything else they put a woman in charge of. Like, I think the only thing about the woman they put in charge of Xbox is she might have some common sense, but like I said, she's just firing the gay people. But she's wanting to replace them with contract Indian workers, which is still not good. She's just firing all the gay people. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, Xbox is in a weird place when it comes to their relationship with having staff. They want to use contractors, but she only wants to use Indian contractors, which is technically what they've been doing anyway, or some kind of contractors. I just don't get the whole contractors thing when it comes to Microsoft. But you know what? It just shows one thing: they're too cheap to actually keep people on payroll. And if you can't keep people on payroll, you can't produce a clearly functional product. Because, you know, as soon as you lay off contractor Sam, you lay Sam off, then Bill comes in to replace Sam, and Bill has to learn what Sam worked on, and has to learn to troubleshoot the problem Sam. See, you can't have a coherent team. And if you can't have a coherent team, you can't have a coherent product. I mean, haven't you guys got the memo yet? Rotating staff means poor quality product, stupid. Like, even if you filled your whole office with gay people, and it was the same gay people 365 days a year, they would get to know each other, get to have camaraderie, and build a good team. How come Microsoft doesn't understand that? Or any of these companies? I mean, like, you add a new guy to, we'll say, the San Francisco 49ers. With that new guy, he has no synergy with nobody. Nobody knows his style. Nobody knows his interests. And so until he gets to become part of the inner circle, he's not going to do so well. What part of there's no I in team do you idiots understand? When you guys run, I mean, you're trying to replace these people with robots anyway, which robots make slop, but then so do the gay people. But if you wasn't rotating out all the butt pirates, you might have had a coherent product. At least the story might have been crap, but at least it might have been, I don't know, debugged better. I don't know. Microsoft, make up your mind. Do you want to keep turning out garbage because your hiring practices are garbage? Because whether you put an Indian at the head of Xbox with a name like Asa Sharma, and just that name, Asa Sharma, I don't know anything about Indian names, but that just, I don't know, from the way she keeps firing people, she sounds like she's an asshole. But then she's a corporate executive, and according to Atari from the 80s, or is it Namco, whoever made that pole position commercial, oh yeah, corporate executives, they're jerks, no matter who they are. I don't understand. How come rich people, they say they go to better schools than poor people, but they lack common sense? You can have a multi-billionaire like Jeff Bezos or Mark Zuckerberg, and they can run a $1 trillion business, but they can't understand concepts like teamwork or consistency or, you know, connecting with other, like, they can't understand the concept of human connection. They can't understand that, you know, I'm pretty sure out there's a Fred out there or somebody who's probably just dropped dead in Amazon warehouse right now because Jeff Bezos doesn't believe in air conditioning. And Jeff doesn't understand that 80-year-old Fred needed, you know, an air conditioner. And Amazon literally sells air conditioners which I think they fixed that part in some of those areas, but I don't know. It's just like these people don't understand the concept of being human. But I'm pretty sure the minute one of them ends up with a health condition, they want the public to feel sorry for them, but they don't feel sorry for the public. Same thing with Elon Musk. I don't know. I don't understand rich people. You don't understand any concept of human connection. And then you want to replace the humans you want to treat like crap with robots that don't work half the time. So how are you really smart? I mean, I know you're rich because people are stupid and they'll buy your garbage. Granted, those movies I just showed came from Amazon. And I feel sorry for, Fred or Phyllis or whoever just died on the, the assembly line, the warehouse floor because they didn't get a sick day or whatever. R.I.P. to whoever died getting me this. I feel sorry for your family. My condolences. And I don't feel sorry for Jeff Bezos and his gold digger. Actually, no, technically I do feel sorry. That shows that he's such a terrible human being that the only way one wants anything to do with him is because he has a bank account. So I'm pretty sure if he gets severely ill and ends up in the hospital, that gold digger is gonna go be out at the mall instead of by his bedside in the hospital, because she only wants his platinum credit cards. Well, maybe that's the good thing. Maybe that kind of crap will put people like that in perspective. Maybe enough of them have that happen, and maybe they'll realize human connection is important. Because, like I said, you only see rich guys like that with supermodel-looking women that only want their money. And I'm pretty sure, think about it, Charlie Sheen was such a big a-hole, the only reason he get women to put up with him is if he paid them. Technically, that's what Jeff Bezos is doing, and Mark Zuckerberg, and all these other guys have these beautiful, attractive 20-year-olds because they only want their money. They don't want them as a person. Like, I think Elon got divorced because he didn't understand human connection after he had a child pass away due to Impa-Crib syndrome. And like I said, the only problem I can say about Elon is he's got brain damage from child abuse in school. And I think he had some child abuse at home too. So all I can say is, I feel sorry that he has enough money to probably fix his brain damage, but doesn't. Because I've seen the guy talk in some of his videos. I didn't even know who he was at first, because of the YouTube channel having a weird name. I didn't know that was really him, but I thought it was somebody that looked like him, but I found it really was him. And you can tell by the way he speaks and his body movement that there's some brain damage, which they probably can't do nothing for it anyway. But being someone who was a victim of bullying to the similar extent from my schoolmates, I can at least relate to the guy. Being beat up by your peers in school sucks. I can at least know what it's like to be a child treated like that. And like I said, it's kind of weird. As far as I know, he's still he's just single being a businessman because nobody wants nothing to do with him, probably because of his mental health problems, probably from that brain damage. It's kind of funny, he's rich enough now that he could probably find those same guys that did that to him and probably put them in prison for damaging his life. That's what you ought to do, Elon. You're all about justice and fairness. Why don't you take those guys that caused your brain damage, that make you not compatible with other people, and throw their ass in prison? For payback. Yeah, that's what you ought to do. You ought to go on a revenge arc, Elon. You ought to go on a revenge arc with your money. The guys that beat you into that coma I heard about, if that's true about you, then you ought to find them and have them all thrown in jail. Just for revenge.